have a history question for you.
Lay it on me, my friend.
Why did Hitler think that blonde and blue-eyed people were the master race when he himself had black hair?
Oh, he didn't know.
What?
Yes, from what I understand from OSS intelligence, he never looked into a mirror or at a picture of himself due to some sort of occult superstition that he was obsessed with.
That cannot be true.
Oh, it is, at least according to the OSS intelligence of the time, as well as the fact that in 1945, while hiding out in his bunker, he mistakenly looked into a mirror, realized he was not in fact blonde-haired, killed Eva Braun for never telling him this, and then killed himself for not being a member of his alleged master race.
Jesus Christ. So, wait, is there a master race?
Oh, indeed.
Which one is it?
Oh, they're a species called the Magnificons from the planet Perfecto.
Oh, thank Christ.
Well, actually, they worship something called Zebrus Christ. It's half man, half zebra, all Christ. I don't know. It's their Bible. I'm not going to try and interpret it.
Oh my God, we do not have time to unpack that.
What are you talking about? Yes, we do. We have the entire Memorial Day weekend tonight on America, the podcast. Not the animated series. We're almost there. Just give us a sec.
Yeah, Animated Tim died.
And I know we're not supposed to blame the victim, but it was his fault.
I know. I told him he probably had my walnut allergy.
Yes, irregardless, we were still able to print a new one, and we are now back on track. Speaking of, 1, 2, here we go. Time for the show.
Hello, America! It's America, the podcast!
Hello, America, and welcome to America, the podcast. I, of course, am your host, Thebadias A. Stard, the embodiment of and only hope for America, and with me, as always, is my producer, Tim.
Hello, happy Memorial Day.
Well, today is Friday.
Yeah, but it's Memorial Day weekend, man, so we take the entire weekend to remember those we've lost and, celebrate on Monday proper.
By not going to work.
Exactly.
Well, enjoy that for now, because the president is working on getting rid of some of these federal holidays.
Oh yeah, he's trying to replace Veterans Day with World War I Victory Day or something, saying we have too many holidays?
Indeed, and as someone who has fought many a battle in the war on Christmas, I take absolute offense at the cancellation of any holiday, especially a veterans holiday, and even more especially a bank holiday. I need my bankers well rested so they can count my money without error.
Right.
Irregardless, that is not the only change our dear leader is trying to make. In fact, he's made so many changes since he took office this time around that the country is barely recognizable anymore, or at least it will not be in the coming years. That being the case, I felt it appropriate this Memorial Day to memorialize the America that once was. But first, let's get to all of the terrible things this orange maniac has done since he took office in, 5 months ago?
As of this recording, 4?
Well, to that I say, Jesus Christ. Let's get to it. Give me a theme or something. Well, that sounded about as sad as I feel at all times, which is why this episode is brought to you by Lexapro.
No, it's not.
I know, that's just my way of telling you I've been stealing yours.
Dude, get your own!
Oh, I don't want to do that. I've got to go to a nurse and a teledoc, and it's just easier to steal yours.
Dude, it's a 30-minute appointment every few months.
But I'm busy. Can't you see I'm trying to memorialize America right now?
Oh my God.
Tuh, God's on vacation. That is why all of this is happening. Now, may I continue?
Yes, but we're gonna talk after.
No, we're not.
You know?
Everything. I know everything. Was that the end of your sentence?
Just do your thing.
I will do my thing. Since dear leader took office, Project 2025 is being fulfilled almost line by line with some fully expected dystopian extras to go along with its implementation. Journalists and news agencies have been attacked by the president and his ilk, with several news agencies paying out settlements to frivolous lawsuits for reporting objective truth. News agency heads have also been resigning en masse since they are now no longer allowed to report said truth. States and their colleges have also been targeted by the administration over DEI efforts, including Harvard, who was kneecapped by the administration when billions of dollars in federal grants used for medical research was pulled from the school, and when the administration just recently attempted to revoke the visas for all international students in attendance. Speaking of international Americans, multiple protesters have been arrested as terrorists with the intention of deporting them simply for speaking up against the ongoing genocide in Palestine. As for other deportations, a child undergoing cancer treatment was deported, along with others being deported to countries they are either not from or sent to a torture prison in El Salvador, much like the Maryland father who was here on a protected status, or the gay U.S. citizen who was not meant to be sent at all. The administration also barred almost all immigration for people fleeing violence, aside from the 50 or so white South Africans claiming to be fleeing white genocide in their country, something for which there is absolutely no credible evidence. Other than Elon Musk, who is totally credible, even his own version of ChatGPT is forcing white genocide claims into unrelated news. Speaking of rich people fleeing to our great nation, Dear Leader has also invented a new gold card for rich immigrants to buy their way to the front of the line, which costs a whopping $5 million a pop. Chump change to yours truly, but maybe not the best idea, especially since our glorious economy is currently going through its downfall in some quite bigly waves. Oh, and one more time, let's not forget about the genocide in Palestine that has now escalated to the point of no return, with the president promising to demolish the Gaza Strip and turn it into a resort town. I believe he said that around week 4. Anyways, let's see, what else?
That was already so much.
Yes, and again, it's only May, and there are over 1,300 more days of this, assuming he actually leaves office and a Democrat wins the election. I'll get to those miscreants in a bit, since this administration has done the bulk of the damage, including multiple administration officials and Congress members being accused of profiting heavily off the stock market fluctuation through insider knowledge from the White House. Then his big beautiful bill cut food stamps, Medicaid, and federally funded healthcare for trans people while doing silly things like eliminating the fiscal hurdle for gun silencers. The bill also added trillions of dollars to the national debt and did nothing to help the working class, despite his cultists who have not read the bill posting TikToks from their trucks claiming otherwise. Oh right, the Department of Education is also now on the verge of being dismantled, which would leave thousands of disabled students stranded. However, a judge did put a halt on those efforts as of this recording, but let's be honest, it's only a matter of time. Speaking of stranded, USAID was also shuttered, leaving millions of people all over the world stranded, as well as giving up any and all soft power the United States ever had with those countries. Let's see. Oh, The Last of Us killed Joel, which I know is in the game, but still, they didn't have to do it this early. Speaking of killers, it became abundantly clear that DHS Secretary and puppy killer Kristi Noem is wholly unqualified for her job when it was revealed in a congressional hearing that she doesn't know what habeas corpus is, stating it's the president's right to remove people from the country. And anyone who took civics in high school would know that habeas corpus is the protection of an individual from false imprisonment.
I don't think people take civics in high school anymore, dude.
Well, that explains why we're here, because if we did, we wouldn't have broken any real chance of having a normal relationship with Canada ever again, or placed tariffs on penguins and the entire human world, essentially. And if people read The Handmaid's Tale, then they would probably get a little scared when they found out the administration has been reallocating Department of Transportation funds in favor of areas with high birth rates and marriage rates. And let's not forget that the National Weather Service and NOAA has been gutted. Texas is trying to make dank-ass weed and dank-ass political memes illegal. Wait, I'm sorry, was there no other word than dank for the cannabis community to use?
I don't think so.
All I can think of when I say dank ass is a smelly butt, which last time I checked is not a good thing, especially with the world's new line of kinks. Terrible. Almost as terrible as my Hulu account merging with my Disney Plus, and now I have no idea what to do.
Just log into Disney, man.
It's logged in on my private jet, and I do not want to log into it on my own TV. Speaking of jets, the president recently accepted a plane from Qatar, a country he once accused of funding terrorism and whom his attorney general Pam Bondi used to work for as a lobbyist. The plane, called a Palace in the Sky, is officially a gift to the US military and the country itself, and will of course be used as Air Force One in the final year of his presidency, since it will take around 3 years and $1 billion taxpayer dollars to retrofit it into a usable asset, and to remove all of the listening devices the Qataris totally didn't place aboard the plane. It will, of course, then be sent to his presidential library at the end of his term, and, of course, totally will not ever be used again. And lastly, but not really, because about 10 different things have happened every single day for the past 4 months, he renamed the Gulf of Mexico the Gulf of America. And as the embodiment of an only hope for America, I think that is dumb. Full stop. But what about the Democrats? What have they been doing? Pulling pud?
Oh, don't say that.
Oh, what? The audience doesn't know what it means?
I mean, they might, dude.
Listen, we're about to be an adult animation cartoon, so you better get used to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Democrats. While AOC and Bernie Sanders are out there in the field rallying the people, Senator Cory Booker really showed the country he was on their side when he virtue signaled for 25 hours while still taking money from AIPAC and being the sole Democrat to choose Jared Kushner's father, a felon, to be the ambassador for France. And Ahsoka Tano's ex-boyfriend isn't the only Democrat to have voted for something disgusting. 10 Democrats also voted to censure Al Green for protesting during Trump's State of the Union address. And let's not forget the very stern letter full of 8 different very aggressive points from Chuck Schumer that he sent to the president, and that went, fun fact, unanswered. Then there's of course the 10 Democrats who decided to die in the past year, which is itself unforgivable.
I don't think that's their fault, dude.
Well, it's Trump's America now, so I feel that I can blame the victim, and since it's Trump's America, my feelings are king.
And at this rate, he will be too.
Indeed, and speaking of medieval rule, let's not forget the increase in just general cruelty. From outright racism to people freely using ableist, transphobic, and homophobic slurs. Even the term DEI has more or less become a slur itself as a sort of coded way of using a slur. DEI mayor, DEI candidate, DEI hire. And let us not forget the physical attacks from both the left and right wing. To put it simply, for a new simple America, America's big beautiful status quo is dead and gone. In its place, a new era of right-wing authoritarianism, welcomed by 74 million people, that will last at least 4 years, 8 if we're lucky, 20 if we're properly screwed. But even if we somehow come out the other side of this in 4 years, after at least a portion of those 74 million people have learned their lesson about trusting the right wing, and when the Democrats finally find their own charismatic wunderkind, and when Donald finally realizes that he's bored and no longer wants to do this whole thing now that he's gotten away with all of the crimes, MAGA won't simply just go away. Once our dear leader has found his way to the eternal aftervoid, it may settle down, but the damage has been done, and the poison that is right-wing populism has replaced the blood of a large portion of the nation, especially its youth. Through podcasts like this one, well, not like this one, we're great, and not necessarily morally corrupt. We're also about to become a cartoon, if you didn't know. Well, we're also kind of a cartoon now, but you know what, it doesn't matter. Through terrible podcasts and their hosts, from Andrew Tate, that says men have the right to own women, to Charlie Kirk, who is simply a mouthpiece for right-wing billionaires, to Joe Rogan, a self-proclaimed dumb guy that millions listen to every week, to Alex Jones, who perpetuates conspiracy theories like the Sandy Hook and Parkland shootings were staged, which, of course, they were not. And this is just a sampling of the drugs, the poisons, or as the Bible would call them, the false prophets, leaching into the minds of our nation and solidifying our new right-wing normal.
Oof, I need to take some of my meds that you keep stealing.
Well, don't tell RFK Jr. that, lest he send you to one of his planned wellness camps.
Can't you just have SEAL Team 6 get me out?
No can do. They answer to Pete now. Gonna have to call the Illuminati to send a team.
Yeah, but they always make me pay in blood when we ask for help.
Well, I would do it, but as you know, my skin cannot be pierced. Irregardless, do I not get you a transfusion afterward every single time?
Yeah, but can anything be done about all of this?
Oh, Lord, no. Elections have consequences, and this is it. I believe I've said that multiple times on this podcast. I've also given multiple warnings, begged, pleaded, right?
Yeah.
Well, then stop asking. You, me, and the rest of the country simply have to wait out Trump and Stephen Miller's racist temper tantrum before the billionaire class has finally had enough and gets them out. However, dear leader is an authoritarian and could potentially strong-arm the corporations of these United States. Right now, it's simply a game of waiting on who blinks.
Well, Donnie blinked on China and lowered his insane tariffs
to 30%, which is still what we call in the business world stupid high. And just stupid.
What about the midterms?
I don't have a ton of hope. The Democrats have done nothing to give people confidence in them, especially when it became abundantly clear that they were collectively lying about Biden's health when we could all see it was declining. Not to mention, the Republicans are doing their terrible things now, and the population of these United States has a short-term memory. The GOP will try and own a few popular wins in 2026, and the same lot that overwhelmingly puts them into positions of power every single election cycle will do so again. And that's assuming there is ever a free and fair election again in this country. For now, we wait. We wait on the Democrats to figure out their bullshit. We wait on the right wing to eat the rest of its own tail, and for the progressive wing to stop eating theirs. We wait for conservatives to have empathy for starving children, and we wait for Elon and Don to get bored and go home. And of course, we wait patiently for America, the podcast, the animated series. But for now, I'm going to grab my producer by the shirt and drag him out of the studio and into my backyard so that we may begin grilling for this Memorial Day weekend.
Dude, you don't have to drag me.
But I want to, and like I said, it's Trump's America now, and the rich will always get what they want at the cost of the working man.
Dude, I'm your boss.
Oh my God, thank you, I needed that. This whole Trump thing has got me stressed. Let's go get messed up and play with a wood-burning grill.
You know, it would be the American thing to do.
Exactly. Thank you for listening, America. Go enjoy your Memorial Day weekend and remember the America that once was, as well as the people that fought for that freedom, which kinda now seems almost null and void. We'll be back again in July for America, the podcast, the animated series. We will, of course, always keep the podcast feed going as well, where you may listen to the audio of that animated series going forward. Don't forget to follow us on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram, and now Bluesky and Skylight, I guess. They're new. And you can find it in the description, you know? I'm not gonna name all of those, because, listen, it's been a long 5 months that has felt like a year, and I'm sure the same has been the case for you. So I ask you, go enjoy your weekend if you can, and stop thinking about all of this. Just relieve yourself in whatever way you can, whether it's peeing, smoking a joint, for now in Texas, or, you know, just enjoying a nice burger, or a Beyond Burger for the vegans, I guess. Anyways, I'm rambling. I've been told I have a tendency to do that, but I don't believe it. So for now, I'm just going to say thank you for listening, happy Memorial Day, and good night and good fight.
It's America, the podcast.
You've been listening to America, the podcast, the original series. The show stars Thebadias A. Starred and Tim Philippi as themselves. All other voices in this episode were provided by the wonderful cast of voice actors listed in the show notes. The amazing America, the podcast theme song you are listening to right now is by Timmy Two Step, and all other music and sounds heard in this show were procured through the fantastic companies and artists listed in the show notes. America, the podcast is recorded at Shway Media Studios in Austin, Texas, and is mixed and edited by Tim Philippi. Executive producers for the show are Alana Matos, Tim Philippi, and Thebadiah Stard. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com and americathepodcast.com. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved.
This has been a production of Shway Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shwaymedia.com.